Ooh-wee. Now this is how you do it. Beautiful visuals, accurate history. Blue-Eyed Samurai is perfectly done anime. I don't know what's going on with these boys at Netflix, but they are doing it right. Anime is continuing to grow and we have more outlets than ever. This crossover is huge because we don't only get classics like Crunchyroll, Funimation, non-anime, Kiss Anime, and Tubi, but now we got the heavy hitters involved. That's right, Netflix, Hulu, and even Adult Swim. With that being said, Netflix is on the horizon with another original banger in Blue-Eyed Samurai. And that is a heavy toll because they've got Blood of Zeus, they have Cyberpunk, Twilight of the Gods, and now Blue-Eyed Samurai. This is huge, and like I said, the more the better. Competition is always good. So, as we jump into this, we don't really get a background of our main character in episode 1, but we do know the main character is an orphan, and she is a daughter of a white man and a Japanese woman. Since this is in the Edo era, it's safe to say that she and her mom probably got Harvey Weinstein, hence giving her the blue eyes. It's brutally honest, and I love it about this show. I mean, they have it all. Full-on nudity, cutthroat violence, swearing and cussing. Now, this isn't any weird-ass hentai action like we saw in Twilight of the Gods, but it gets to it. So in episode 1, we get a little mini origin story of her, and Muzi is a true badass. In episode 1, I see one of the coolest dojo fights of all time. Slow motion, a killer-ass soundtrack, and much more. I mean, let's be honest, they even pay homage to the great Naruto because at one point during the fight, Mizu takes off the weights during the fight against Taijin. It low-key reminded me of the Chunin exams when Rock Lee went against Gaara and took off the weights. We're off to a good start. And as you see how I'm brutally honest in my last My Hero Academia series finale review, I don't pull back punches. Well, luckily for us, in episode 2, this does not let off the gas. After as Mizu is running through town, running through dojo legacies, we finally get introduced into the Four Fangs. These boys are masked up in the Edo-style Oni mask, and they are pure savages. They straight kill first and ask questions last, all right? They're really on some gang activity. We get a little bit deeper on the background of Mizu, and we find out that the man who took her in was the sword maker. He is a gentle, calm man who has a background I am thirsty to hear about. He is the epitome of Zen. He is a father figure, a teacher, and exactly what Mizu needs to ascend. Since he is blind, he doesn't know that she's a girl, and he accepts her. Either way, the relationship is special. I love that they're being somewhat historically accurate with the samurai Edo clothing and all the different types of things. I mean, they even throw in some sumo wrestling. This is reminiscent of Demon Slayer. That being said, it isn't as crispy with the animation, but it's very different and it's very clear that they are doing the most. It's almost like a 3D effect. Another cool thing that they do is the visualization on any type of attack or duel. They kind of do this thing that they did in Mortal Kombat where they'll have the visual representation and it looks like a shadow going out before the fight actually happens. So as we head in episode 2, we see the Four Fangs finally come to meet the Blue-Eyed Samurai. Just remember, these mugs straight kill, okay? And Muzi is about that. Like I said, there is plenty of savagery and killing, even in the second episode. Let me give you an example. Mizu cuts 3 of the Four Fangs down immediately, cutting throats, slicing off arms, chopping bodies in half. And as she comes to the leader, it was one of her childhood ops. So she kills him the correct way by shoving a dagger through his chest. She pretty much went 4 for 4, or as I like to say, an extermination. Continue on in episode 3. They are far from biting their tongue. They call Mizu a half-breed white devil and calling a child that is pure reckless, and it's the reality of that time period. After sustaining multiple injuries against the Four Fang, her honest and simple yet kind assistant Ringo carries her to a shrine where she shows up her wounds. This episode also brings out Taijin, and it brings them a little bit closer. It shows that even Mizu is a true, hard-as-hell savage. She does have some humanity. At least we think. Her, Ringo, and Taijin end up becoming a little bit closer, and they also find out about Fowler, who is one of the Blue-Eyed Devils. And then episode 4 comes back with the heat. I was wondering with all the historical accuracy when they were going to bring out the Geishas, and they finally do in episode 4. Just another really cool plot in this anime. After watching this series, I really do think all animes need to be 45 to 60 minutes. We get so much more detail, better stories, and nothing is rushed. Also, there's no filler. No boring episodes because of all the extra time that are inside of them. Think about it. You can do 26 episodes at 20 minutes, so it's about 3 to 3.5 hours, or you can do 8 episodes in that 40 to 45 minutes. It's a lot more entertaining. It's essentially like a mini movie. Another nod to the Blue-Eyed Samurai. So, after meeting Muzi, we finally understand that every man has a weakness. Every man thinks that she is a man, but she is a woman. So, she gains more info on Fowler, aka the Blue-Eyed Devil, and how brothels work. We get closer to find out who Muzi's father is. Maybe it's Fowler, maybe it's not. That's my interpretation, but that's just a speculation and we'll see. Switching gears, we finally understand that after their crazy little battle, Taijin was kidnapped by Fowler's number 2. And honestly, they torture him. This is some straight Ramsay Bolton Game of Thrones shit. As the characters start to overlap and the story deepens, we understand that the princess is in the same brothel as Mizu. They end up speaking about Taijin and Miju, and this is an opportunity to bring everybody together and to press the story forward. Not too much else goes on in episode 4 besides the beautiful visuals. I mean, there is a snow scene that has footprints, and of course, Mizu is snapping necks, but besides that is a visually stunning and masterpiece with a little touch of savagery. Another great thing about this series is episode by episode, we get a little bit deeper to know about Mizu. She's a cold-blooded savage. Let's not get shit twisted. And her only goal in life is to kill the 4 white devils. Most characters in all anime have a backstory that we are blessed with. Well, after 4 episodes, we finally get to see hers, and it's deep. Essentially, her mom's a junkie, and she's off that opium, aka off that white. And we see that when Mizu was a child, it was just her and her mom together. Fast forward to her as a teen, she is forced to cut off all her hair to, like I said, remain looking like a boy. Not gonna lie, the whole time I thought she was gay, because obviously there aren't women samurais. Well, I was completely wrong. She had been in love, and she had loved once before. Of course, this came to her being set up with a planned marriage. Even though her mom had been violated, the man that she was wedded really wasn't like that. He even states, "I am not a barbarian." Months after months after months after their marriage and being lived together, they finally performed the coital arts. So, no lesbos over here. However, she ends up getting set by him, and holy shit does this take a turn. They're out in the field, riding horses, play fighting, and the man who was her husband wants to see what her skills is like because she had mentioned it in the past. And she ends up bruising his ego. Well, we don't know if it was him or the junkie mom, but long story short, there was a bounty set on her head. With the bounty, the fangs came and they got killed. The husband ran away like a little prick. He ends up coming back and apologizing, but we can tell that his ego is truly bruised. Now, we really don't get a definite answer if it's him or the mom who told on her, but the mom was smoking opium and the husband was kind of a simp. The husband and the mom end up getting into a battle, an argument, and he ends up stabbing the mother in the death. In the heart with a dagger. So, Mizu, being the badass that she is, returns the favor and stabs him in the heart with a dagger. I'm truly doing my best, and I'm not doing you all justice. You have got to watch The Blue-Eyed Samurai. It is a top 5 anime of 2024. But as we stumble into episode 6, we got to realize that Muzi is not your typical protagonist, not in any way, shape, or form. She is always getting fucked up. It low-key reminds me of some old school Naruto. She gets stabbed, she gets beat, she gets cut up, and much, much more. Every single episode progressing through the series, she has a new wound, and it's legit. She's a true warrior, a true samurai, and a true beast. And back in episode 6, we get some low-key Kill Bill vibes with her. She is just on another onslaught, and the cinema, the camera angles are perfect. It pans left to right, up to down, a circular overhead shot. Netflix truly outdid themselves with this animation on this one. The way they tie in the lore with the reality is amazing. I can't hype this up enough. Who would have thought that the 2 animes of the year weren't really even anime? Animation with solo leveling, the animation being a manhwa. We also get some horror in episode 6 whenever she's fighting these giants in a dungeon, and it's some zombie demon action. This shit is amazing, and I am in love with the series. I understand how it won so many series and awards this year. Netflix did their thing, and this show is legit. I keep saying that there is savagery on episode after episode after episode, but Muzi is at the point where she is biting faces. And you know what the background music is? Hell's Bells. And it's a Japanese cover. I didn't know I needed a Japanese cover of Hell's Bells in my life, but damn, that shit is amazing. The only bad thing about this whole entire series is that it has to come to an end. And in the season finale, everything finally comes to the head. We got all the players are finally meeting up. Mizu with a fresh broken sword after she dove out of a tower on her 100-meter Michael Phelps shit. Hopping back into it, we've got Ringo, Taigen, Foster, and of course Mizu. I didn't even talk to you too much about Foster, but him as an antagonist is amazing. All right, he brings the West with him and he is proud of it. His pure whiteness, his pure evilness, he is the perfect guy. All he wants to do is waltz in with his chin up, white and proud, mow down the Japanese army with guns and kill the Shogun so he can be the Shogun himself. It is so alarming at how taunt and distraught he is. You gotta remember, this is a very traditional Japanese style of anime. When Foster comes in, he sees the Japanese with their honor and they are stuck in their old, outdated ways. Foster, with many levels of betrayal, is just a better chess player. He shows why guns are the future and will be superior. And then he quotes, "I will move into Japan. I will westernize it. Everyone will look like me and there's nothing you can do about it." That is a quote. That is some all-for-one action. That is some true Akatsuki shit right there. And then we progress through the season finale. He is slaughtering everybody. He is pillaging, he is murdering, and it is beautiful. We finally get to the well-anticipated rematch against Mizu and Foster, and it gets heated. As they are battling, they're both getting stabbed. Mizu gets shot and wounded, and we will see how far she is truly going to go to kill one of the white men. She lights the entire Shogun castle on fire, and then Foster with one of the coldest quotes. He says, "Look at all this murder. Look at the downfall of Japan, all to kill one white man. Mizu, your white side is truly showing." That right there, that is one of the hardest one-liners of all time. We then get to see a crazy climax. We get to talk about the bubs across the water at London, but I got to leave that up to you all to watch. So that is the review. That is the Blue-Eyed Samurai. For me, that is a top 24 anime. Top 24 anime for me. You got to remember, we got Solo Leveling, Bungo Stray Dogs, Kaiju Number 8, Undead Unluck. Those are just a few. But Blue-Eyed Samurai, it has to make the list. And if you stayed this long, you know I don't give out too many ratings, but this is a 9 out of 10. This is a top 15 anime for me of all time. So that's the review. Tell me down in the comments if you've watched it. Tell me what you think. I can't wait for season 2 in 2026. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See y'all in the next video. Holla back at your boy.